Hello and welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope that you all are well and you're having a nice time. So I am back with another video, and in this one I'll run you through the top picks that people are currently picking up for their team. All the managers are picking up the popular picks that are either due to their form, due to the fixtures, and what is the reason why majority of the players are going for them. So we will be using Drafthound's data, Drafthound's player ranking, to look at those players. And Drafthound is obviously an ultimate platform where you can sign up and you can get some features for free, and then there are obviously the features that come up with the membership. And once you sign up, you get access to an ultimate platform where you can manage your team, pretty easily. You get the player ranking that I'm going to talk about in this video. You get fixture analysis, you get player comparisons. There is a predicted lineup kind of thing too, that will be available very soon. And then there is obviously the planner. And on the right hand side, you can see that my team is visible, that I have currently fixed up. Obviously this is not the final team. As you can see, a proper 4-5-1 setup is there, and there are some players on the bench. So this is obviously not the final draft. I will talk about my draft in another video, but in this one specifically I'll talk about the players that people are picking up. Meanwhile, you can click the link below. There is a referral link. You can tap on that and go to Drafthound, sign up and get these ultimate features, and it will be helpful for your rank this season. And hopefully with this you can achieve that desired rank that you want at the end of the season. Meanwhile, if you have not subscribed to the channel already, please do that and help me reach 800 subs sooner. That is the plan for the season. And obviously for the start of the season, not for the whole season, I would want maximum subscribers. But at the start of the season, let's hope that we make it till 800, and once the season kicks off, we'll start from there. So yeah, enough of the all the talk now, and now we're gonna look at the players that people are currently picking up for their teams. So I'll start with the goalkeepers. Let's head directly into the graphics. Now on your screen are the goalkeepers, and as you can see, we've got the most popular Ederson, who has got Burnley at away, and the expected points that we can currently see is 4 points, and he is being offered at the price of 5.5 million. So a lot of people have gone for Ederson, and the points to actually support this move is that he is one player that is rotation proof. I mean, they have Ortega, but he usually plays in that FA Cup or the other sometimes in the Champions League games. So Ederson is one of those safe picks. So if you are looking at a safe keeper from, obviously safe player from Manchester City, and a keeper that you can get some some clean sheets from, Ederson is the guy. But I wouldn't recommend him just because of the specific reason that he doesn't makes a lot of saves. I mean, with Ederson, we've seen in the previous season, he did not make a lot of saves. I mean, he was not value for money. He was being offered at around 6 at some point last season, and he had clean sheets but no save points. On the other hand, we had some cheap keepers that were giving us save points. So Ederson, people went for him. His expected points, as you can see, are 4 million. 4 points, not 4 million. Sorry about that again. And he's being offered at 5.5 million. It would take a while to get back into the rhythm. Obviously, I have 1 month of off, so I would make little bit mistakes while telling you things. So yeah, hopefully I would get that rhythm back. So yeah, coming back to the list, we've got Ramsdale on the second choice, and as you can see, he's been picked up by 28.3% of the managers. And as you can see, his expected points, these are ranked upon the expected points, and his expected points are 3.9. And as it is a good fixture versus Nottingham Forest at home, and Ramsdale could be a good choice at 5 million. I mean, looking at Arsenal's side, they were pretty good last season too, with their defensive shape at the start of the season. They had Saliba and all their defenders, so they did keep a lot of clean sheets during the start of the season, and we saw Ramsdale making a lot of saves. He was one sole reason why they did keep the clean sheets they did during the whole season. And then we've got obviously Steele, who is De Zerbi's favorite. He starts Steele just because of the reason that he does those passes. I mean, those are the dangerous passes, but he links up into the play. And the reason De Zerbi gave that why does he play Steele, the reason was that because he doesn't like keepers that do the long shots and then wait for their players to win the ball. So Steele is the kind of keeper that is good with the feet. I mean, he did blunders a couple of times, but he was good with the feet. So with the expected point of 3.3, he's on third. He's just being offered at 4.5 million, and he's being picked up by 6.4% managers as of now. And obviously we were going to see his EO go up Overall, from history, we've seen that Brighton does keep clean sheets, and under De Zerbi, I'm expecting them to keep more clean sheets in the upcoming games too when the season starts. So Pope is the fourth one. Then we've got obviously Alisson. These are not the easiest fixtures. Pope has Aston Villa at home, then obviously Chelsea at away that Alisson has. So these are risky clean sheets. As you can see, the margins of the clean sheet points are not very much in the list, and obviously the points that you see here are somewhat reflected by the amount of saves that we can expect from some of the keepers. I mean, Steele is pretty exceptional with the saves he makes. Ramsdale does a lot of saves. Ederson is kind of 50-50 with his saving skills, but he does keep clean sheets just because his defense of Manchester City is too good. Then obviously Pickford, who is a very popular choice. As you can see in that list, there is a Balaga, and there is Neto, Leno, and Forster from Spurs, who's got Brentford at away. So these are the keepers. Ederson, obviously, once again gonna tell you, is the popular choice, but the other two keepers that people have gone with is either Pickford, Pope. There is Steele, who has been popular, but if you've got Estupiñán already, I don't think that there is any point in going for Steele 2 at the back. So Ramsdale could be the one. There is obviously Kepa, Balaga, and Neto if you want to go for a differential. So these are the keepers that players have picked as of now. As things progress further, I'll update you in each department that what are the moves that majority of the players are making this season. So I'll let you know that every week, hopefully. Now we will move on to the defenders, and let's see what are the popular picks there. So nothing surprising here. As you can see, another of the City player topping the chart, and then there is obviously Stones, who is being offered at 5.5 million. He's got a 5.1 XP, expected points of 5.1 versus Burnley. He is an essential piece of Pep's chessboard, and we've seen Pep using him as a defensive mid and as a centre back, and that double role with his new formation that we've seen a lot of managers now apply in the Europe. We've seen Arteta do that. We've seen Barcelona do that. So yeah, that is kind of the new thing, and Stones is a very integral and a very major part of that. So I am expecting Stones to start majority of the games during the start of the season, and obviously then we'll move on into the season, and when more and more competitions are gonna start, you can expect rotations. But as of now, at the start of the season, I think Stones is a pretty safe pick, and with 5.5 million, I think he's value for money. With the clean sheets, hopefully he's gonna provide. So as you can see, 5.1 is already the expected points, and obviously there is Trippier, who is 1 million expensive. He's picked up by 34% of the manager, and he's got Aston Villa at home. We saw Newcastle keep clean sheets, but obviously I would give another season to actually construct that view that Newcastle are a very tough defensive side. As of now, I think it's 50-50 with Aston Villa under Unai Emery. I think they are going to score, but Trippier has the ability to provide attacking returns, and that is one thing which has obviously influenced the AI to predict the 5.1 that Trippier is placed at. He's not the second. I think they both are at the first with 5.1 expected points that you can see on screen. Then there is obviously Gabriel, because of that good fixture Arsenal has, and at 4.8 expected points. He's being offered at 5 million, and he has already been picked up by 16.5% of managers. Now another one, as you can see, is Trent Alexander-Arnold, who is actually picked up by 34.1% of the managers. He's very, very costly. He's playing in that midfield role. You can expect assist from him. So it would be pretty hard for us to afford him. And alongside Salah and another premium asset. So yeah, you have to decide, but as of now, he is picked up by 34.1% of the managers. Then there is obviously Estupiñán, who is a very likely and a very favorite kind of guy of the FPL community. He does provide attacking returns. He has done that in La Liga when he used to play that. He did that in the previous season too. So people who don't know that, just to let you know that he has the ability to provide attacking returns. But most of all, if you've not gone for Steele, I think Estupiñán is the guy with the clean sheet points, obviously, and sometimes he usually steals away the bonus points too. And then obviously, as I've talked about, there are attacking points in his game too. And he's got a good fixture. Luton at home is the first game that we're going to see obviously from him. Then there is obviously Zinchenko. Similar as the case with Zinchenko, he did play that defender and the midfielder role under Arteta, and I do expect him to continue to do that. Hopefully attacking return on that. Then there's Akanji, Shaw and Robertson, who is much cheaper than Trent Alexander-Arnold. So if you can afford him, I think Robertson is another good choice, who's got not an easy fixture, but I think in the longer run, if you look at the fixtures, they have got Bournemouth and Newcastle after that, so you can expect a raise in the expected points. And then there is obviously Walker, who is a bit of a risky pick with his, obviously he's not the most youngest guy out there, so Pep uses him very efficiently and effectively in the games where he's needed most. But I wouldn't recommend going for Walker at 5 million. I'd say you either go for Gabriel at 5 million or look at Stones and just invest 0.5 million into that. So these are the defenders that are most popular, and people have picked them up so far in the majority. Now let's look at the midfielders and let's see what surprises we have there. And then obviously there isn't much surprise when you see Salah at top of the charts, and there is one specific reason why he's the Egyptian king or the Egyptian goat or whatever you want to call him, or the FPL goat as some might still consider him that. Not still, I'd say he's still the FPL goat. We've seen him return us points after points after points for a good 2-3 season, and obviously some points before that too. So he is an essential asset. If you can afford him, I think he is a good pick with the fixtures he has. Obviously, he's got Chelsea at away the first one, but he has got a great record against Chelsea. Now, the surprising point here is he has been just picked up by 26.2% managers. Obviously, he's not the most cheapest of the midfielders, but there was one point where he was being owned by almost, more than 100%. His EO was more than 100%, and that was hurtful. So people are, a little bit confused as of now to target which essential or which premium asset. But as of now, he's being picked up by 26.2% of the managers. He's got Chelsea at away, and the expected points is at the top, as you can see, is 6.1 that we can expect from Salah. Hopefully a goal and an assist would be very delightful, as I'm not gonna go without Salah. I'd keep him. I'm just telling you right now that Salah is an essential for my side. Then obviously we've got Saka. You get those penalties advantage from him. He's a guaranteed starter. So these two things really, persuade people to go for Salah rather than Martinelli or Odegaard. I mean, those two are good and nailed on options too, but with the penalty disadvantage to both of them and the advantage that to Saka, I think Saka is a much better pick. And obviously the fixture run of Arsenal is worth holding on to these Arsenal assets. You've got Nottingham Forest, then you've got Crystal Palace, then you've got Fulham. So these are some good fixtures. Third one is obviously Odegaard, who is just 0.1 lesser in the expected points, and people did go for him in the previous season, and he did return attacking point. We've seen he's very good with his shot. He creeps into the box pretty well. He's good with his movement. He links up pretty well. So I think Odegaard is a good one. But 8.5 million, I'd go for Saka, who is on the penalties. My idea is usually to go for the midfielders that do take penalties. Then we've got Rashford, who is picked up by, surprisingly, by 39.7% of the managers. He's got Wolves at home, and whatever the reason is, people have actually gone for Rashford more rather than Salah. And one reason what I could think is that he's cheaper. You got him for 9 million, and then obviously you can allot that budget to some other midfielder. So Rashford is not a bad pick. I mean, we've seen him return last season. He did return for a good while, and then obviously there was a bad patch onto him, and then obviously there were 2 returns from him after that, and then a bad patch again. So he's not very consistent. His injury issues have been there throughout each season. But I think at 9 million, with the Man United evolving and Rashford their main man, I think he is going to be a very, very good asset this season too. And obviously we've got Grealish. There is nothing more to talk about Grealish apart from the fact that he has pretty much polished himself. We've seen attacking returns from him, but obviously I don't think Grealish as of now is one of the most nailed on fantasy pick. He can be one of those punts you can look at during the start of the season or in the mid-season when he's in form, but I think at this rate, save your 7.5 million and invest into someone else. You can get cheaper options for that. And obviously we've got Bruno Fernandes, who can be a very good pick. He's picked up by 23.1% of the managers. He's got Wolves at home. Similar is the case with Rashford, but if you compare both, I think you can save 0.5 million if you go for Bruno Fernandes, who's on the penalties, but Rashford is definitely the most nailed on. Then there is obviously Kevin De Bruyne. He's not being looked at by most of the people. whatever the reason might be, but I think that De Bruyne, at this stage, looking at his age, he's become injury prone. He's not one of the safest picks now with Pep Rowlett, but I think that during the start of the season, you can see him play. You can see him play for like 6 to 7 game weeks if he stays fit. So I think Kevin De Bruyne is not a bad pick. Then obviously I missed out on Martinelli. He's a very good choice, a much cheaper option. 0.5 only 0.5 cheaper. Sorry, I was looking at the last season. He's not a much cheaper. He's just a 0.5 cheaper option. Gonna start games, but remember that he is going to be a little bit of a rotation risk with all the players that Arsenal has signed, and obviously there is Trossard too in their team. Then obviously you can see Son, who could be a big differential. He just picked up by 5.6% manager. And another, talking about differential, there is another one, and then there is obviously Mahrez, who could be one of those punty punts you can see at the start of the season. So these are the midfielders. Now I'll talk about the forwards, and let's see what the forward surprises hold, for what that list holds for us. So yeah, let's move on to the forwards now. So not much surprises in there. As you can see, Haaland is going to be an essential. Even if he was being offered at 17 million at some point in the season, I think people would have owned him last season too, and this is the reflection of that. 14 million, he's been owned by 85.3% of the managers. Hopefully he can continue his legacy from the last season and return us the goals that he did. Now, here is one point where you can look at a big difference between Harry Kane and Erling Haaland. Harry Kane at 12.5 million. Obviously, the transfer saga is still going on. I'm not sure that he's gonna end up at Bayern as of now. I think he will, at the end of the day, stay at Spurs. That is what I think. But if he stays, I think he could be a big differential. Whenever you think that Haaland could be one of those players that is going to be, axed by Pep Rowlett, you can definitely, look at Harry Kane at some point in season, who is picked up by 16.9% of the managers as of now, being offered at 12.5 million and is at 5.6 in the expected points. Then there is obviously Gabriel Jesus. He's kind of an alright player, but at 8 million, I'd rather, save 0.5 and go for Isaac. Not gonna suggest Darwin Nunez, because I will still give him the season to see how he does that. Isaac has been pretty alright. Then there is obviously Watkins, who could be a differential. So at 8 million, I'd say you rather go for Watkins than Gabriel Jesus as of now. But we're gonna see his form. If he is in form, Gabriel Jesus is not a bad choice. Then obviously there's Danny Welbeck. Welbeck is there and picked up by 1.1% of managers. I'd say you look at Ferguson too, if you're looking at a differential. Obviously, neither Welbeck nor Ferguson are the most safest of the picks, but if people 1.1% managers are going for Welbeck, I think they are up for the punts. So you can give bet an eye on Ferguson too, who could be a good one. Then there is obviously, you can see Gakpo there, Solanke is there. Then there is the last one, Julian Alvarez. I wouldn't recommend going for Julian Alvarez, but at the start of the season, let's see how things go. With Pep, obviously there is a Rowlett kind of thing. With Gakpo, you're gonna see with Gakpo, obviously you're gonna see the rotations to add Liverpool. So in that list, you can see Watkins is one of the safest picks. Then there is obviously Jesus, who is safe. Kane, Haaland, these are the safest picks. And then there is obviously, you can put Isaac in another category with Darwin. And after that, then there is Darwin, Gakpo, Solanke is safe, Julian Alvarez and all that. One more I would like to add into the list, and that would be Wilson. You should look at Wilson, because I remember that his expected points were similar to Julian Alvarez and Solanke, but he was picked up by 10.6% of the managers. So yeah, Vinicius could be one of those you can look at from Fulham for the differential. And then there is Adebayo, who is being picked up by a lot of managers. He's just 5 million, a good bench option. So yeah, these are the players that most of the managers have picked up, and my point was to just show you that what are the popular picks and what are the players that managers are going for, and how are they rated on the expected points. So this is it as of now. What I'm going to do is I'll be back with another draft. Obviously, we're going to use Drafthound's team planner in the next video too, to show you that how my team would look like. We're going to talk about all the insights in that. Meanwhile, please do subscribe, and if you are to use all these helpful insights, just go to their platform, click the referral link below, and sign up, and get help from the ultimate platform that is obviously Drafthound. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Please do subscribe, and yeah, love you all.